probably no word in the English language says so much of dreams and, well, really dreams than the word explorer. We've always read about people who are called explorers, but rarely meet one. Tonight you're going to meet one, see some of his films, and hear some incredible stories of what being an explorer is like. Welcome to Montage, Captain Finn Ronne. Now, I asked you a while ago if you are an explorer, and you said that's what other people call you. I think some people find it hard to understand that being an explorer is a profession, but you've spent your life doing nothing but exploring, is that right?
Yeah, I have spent the years since 1933 by making 9 expeditions to the Antarctic and 5 to the Arctic.
Well, now, how did you get started?
I got started through my father because he was a member of the expedition that first reached the South Pole back in 1911. And I was a young kid at that time. I'm still young, by the way. And I grew up in the whole atmosphere of exploration. So I was then an officer in the U.S. Navy after I came back from 39-41. And I started to work on my own expedition. I succeeded in getting it going in 1946. So from 1946 to 48, I had my own. The last private expedition ever to go to the polar regions was my own.
Well, who financed that?
The financing was done by, I got a contract with the Office of Naval Research. I had a contract with North American Newspaper Alliance under the New York Times, U.S. Weather Bureau, and every scientific organization that you could find. They supported me.
Now, you told me earlier that you had claimed more land than any other private explorer. What does that mean? You mean every land that you discovered for the first time became owned by... I never understood
No,
that.
you see, I am an American citizen. I was born in Norway, but I spent many years here. Right. I became a citizen in 1929. But I went out on a long sledge journey in 1939 to 41 when I discovered hundreds of thousands of square miles with dog sled journey. Yeah. And that land, at the end of the sledge trip into the unknown, build a big cairn and deposit the claim sheet from our State Department, where I claim the land in the name of the United States. So when it comes to the time, and that's on file there, when it comes to the time who owns the Antarctic, I will say that we, the United States, have a darn good claim to most of it.
You didn't see any other cans sitting around?
No, there was not, because I knew that no one had been in there before. It was white on a map when I went into it, and gradually by observation, taking bearings to mountains and so forth, glaciers, I was able to get a contour map over the general area of the land. And then in 1946 to 48, I was able to get my own expedition. And I had $11,000 on my own savings up to that time. I put it all into it, and I was able to get going. And my wife, by the way, she was also with me on that expedition as the first woman ever to go into the Antarctic in winter.
Well, we have some film. Let's look at some film taken about 8 years ago. Tell us about this.
This is up in Baffin's Bay, or up in Lancaster Sound, on one expedition I made up to Greenland. And there we sighted the polar bear, a number of them in fact, on the ice floes where there's lots of open water. Because the polar bear, they live generally at the edges of the pack ice where they can get to water and where they kill seals for food. And he's really a monarch of the north. There is some air around this polar bear that you can't find on any other animal in the world, I believe.
Oh, now he's safe from hunting, I presume, up there. People don't go up there hunting polar bears.
No, there is now an agreement between the nations that border on the Arctic Ocean that they do not kill for pleasure like they used to do before, these polar bears, because they are on a protective species, and they are gradually dying out because they've been killing them by airplane, even shooting them from the air in a helicopter. And I don't consider that any sport. I have never killed an animal in the Arctic or the Antarctic before, except by shooting them with a camera.
Now, I see you're wearing a button, the Polar Bear Club. That to me says you swim in ice water yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, I usually kid a little bit about that, you see, and say that, yes, I'm a member of the Polar Bear Club. In order to be a member, you have to swim in the icy water and pushing an ice floe ahead of you with your teeth as you are swimming along.
Now, how old are you?
I am now in the 10 best years of my life, the 10 years between 29 and 30. I don't want to leave the 20s.
Well, you're just When will you be 30? Do you know?
I will be 30 on the 20th of December, this coming December.
Okay. You won't tell us how old you are. When
Oh, yes, I'll be glad to.
Okay.
I will be 76 in December.
76. Are you going to do any more exploring?
I hope so.
Really?
Because when there is still life, you see, why shouldn't I? I believe that anyone should stay active with keeping mentally alert and physically fit, and I do my best. I'm out lecturing practically the whole year around.
Now, would you honestly feel secure in mounting another expedition to the Antarctic at 76?
Not exactly the Antarctic, because the government has taken over there. We are spending $25 million a year in the Antarctic right now, every year, by sending scientists down there, and the private initiative. And as I said, my expedition 46-48 was the last private one, although I had private to the Arctic, because the initiative now has disappeared. The government bureaucracy has taken over, where an expedition so costly now costs millions of dollars. A private individual could never be able to launch an expedition now in order to bring back some worthwhile results.
You obviously think that's not good.
No, I believe that the private initiative, at least they were not leaning on the taxpayers while we are doing today. I can bring an interesting example. My own 1946-48 expedition, 46-48, I launched that one and carried out for less than $50,000. I went down as military commander in 1956-58 as a part of the International Physical Year and set up the Ellsworth Station at the head of the Weddell Sea. It cost $3.25 million, and that's the difference between private initiative and government bureaucracy.
Well, I think we need to send you to New York City these days to find out what's happening there. And
I shall be glad to go up there.
Meanwhile, Captain Finn Ronne, thank you very much. It's
The pleasure
fascinating
was
to see your
mine.
pictures. Thank you. Montage will be right back.